If you're moving to the Atlanta area because you're going to be working for this giant children's hospital that's being built right here in the Atlanta area, you may be asking yourself, well, where do I live that's close to here? Well, that's what I'm going to answer in today's video. I'm going to discuss some neighborhoods that are a close commute to here, and we'll talk about some neighborhoods that maybe are a little further out if that is more your jam. So stay tuned. Let's talk all about living right by this hospital right now. Hey everyone, my name is Molly and welcome to my channel. If you are wanting to follow along about everything in the Atlanta area, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can follow along. But let's talk about this hospital. This is the new children's hospital that is being built here right off of North Druid Hills in I-85. The great thing is that it's going to be right by 85, so easy access, right? The bad thing is it's right by I-85, so there's going to be a lot of traffic congestion. But I read that they're going to be building 3 new bridges to help work with the traffic area and the traffic flow to make it a little bit nicer. We'll see how that goes. I think it's going to be a little bit painful when they are doing the actual construction, so we got to bear with that as well. But you know, if you're moving here, you're really not familiar with Atlanta, you may be wondering, okay, if I've got a job here, especially if you're a doctor and you're on call. My husband's a doctor, and when he's on call, he does not want to be driving 45 minutes away and at 3 a.m. to get to the hospital. So you're probably asking yourself, what are some great neighborhoods to live by that are close to this hospital? And that's what I'm going to share with you today. A couple other things about this hospital. It should be opening here in the fall of 2024. They've been working on it, I think, for almost 4 years now. It's a huge project. It's 19 stories tall. It's 2 million square feet. And it's about a $1.5 billion project. So this is not pennies, y'all. It's officially called the Arthur M. Blank Children's Hospital. Former Children's Hospital is over at the Emory campus, and now it will be transitioning over here in the fall of 2024. So if you're thinking about moving here into Atlanta and you want to set yourself up for living near this hospital, let's talk about the neighborhoods. I'm going to drive to one that's probably the closest. I'm going to just tell you about it briefly and then we'll go from there. But this one is probably the closest. It's just across the street. It's called Vista Park. So the first neighbor I wanted to share with you is Vista Park. This is probably 5 minutes away from the Children's Hospital campus. It's super easy to get to. There is a little shopping center right there off of North Druid Hills and Briarcliff that you can get to. There's also a Target right there. There's also a Chick-fil-A, so you're in good hands living in this neighborhood. You got everything you need very close by. But what I love about this neighborhood is you get really good size lots. Now, a lot of this neighborhood is made up of ranch style homes, but they have been tearing some of these down and replacing them with custom build modern homes, a lot of modern homes, or kind of a traditional style home. Price ranges, I'd say anywhere from $800K up to, you know, those new builds are going to cost you 1.7 up to 2.1 million. I saw one really cool modern style home. That one went for 2.7, but it was like over the top fancy. So that kind of gives you your price range, but it's a very, very quiet neighborhood. It's actually a very convenient location to getting onto I-85. I have a whole vlog tour of this neighborhood on my YouTube channel, so you can always check out the full tour there. But this is just definitely a quiet neighborhood. You wouldn't feel like you are in the city. I'd say one drawback is that if you do have kids, I feel like there's not a lot of kids in this neighborhood, or that could be because of the elementary school is Briar Vista, which is not really a highly ranked school, so do your research. I know some people would look into a private school. Cliff Valley is nearby. It's a really quiet, beautiful neighborhood. You know, it's a nice area to walk around. Is it walkable to things? Not really, but you are very close to, like I said, that shopping center, and also getting into like Midtown for things to do, Piedmont Park, that kind of thing. You're probably about a 10-minute drive, so really not bad at all. Okay, let me go to my next neighborhood, tell you about that. The next neighborhood I would recommend looking into is Brook Haven. Now, I'm kind of in the lower section of Brook Haven. I'm in neighborhoods like Ashford Park, Drew Valley, Brook Haven Fields. These all surround a popular street called Dresden Drive, which has some shops and some restaurants on it. So it makes these areas a little bit walkable, but you can get some great, traditional style new build homes built in the last 10 years. All in this area. There was a ton of ranch bungalow style homes. They all got torn down and now they're building these 4,000 square foot homes, 4,000, 5,000 square foot homes. There are still some smaller ranch style homes or bungalow style homes. I'd say those start in the kind of like the upper 600s now, and they can go up into the 800, 900K range. And then if you want some of these newer style home builds, you're going to be paying probably 1.2 for kind of an older one built, 10 years or more ago. If you want something brand new, now those new builds, they're going to cost anywhere from probably 6, 1.7, and they can go up to like 2.1 on average. I've seen a couple hit the $2.4 million mark. So here's an example of one right behind me so you can get an idea of what kind of a newer style home looks like in this area. And they're popping up everywhere. So if you're wanting kind of a lot of square footage, something newer, you should definitely look into Brook Haven. A lot of families live here. It's just a nice, pleasant area. Everything is well done, put together, and it's very close to town Brook Haven, which has some shopping. It has a Costco, and you're probably about a 5-minute drive from Buckhead. So if you're wanting a date night out, it's really easy to get to. And then, you just go down North Druid Hills Road, cross over the highway, and bam, you're right there at the Children's Hospital. So if you want to watch more about the Brook Haven area, check out my Brook Haven vlog tour. I also have an Ashford Park vlog tour. You can see a lot more of these neighborhoods in those videos. One final neighborhood I'll mention while I'm out and about is the neighborhood of Oak Grove. I think this one goes under the radar a little bit. It's just about a 10 to 12 minute drive east of the Children's Hospital, so super convenient location. It's very close to I-85. You get really nice large size lots, so if that's something you're looking for, you can definitely get that here. And it has a mixture of older ranch style homes and new construction traditional style homes and some modern sprinkled in here and there as well. Price ranges start in like the 600K range, and then they can go up into the 1.2, 1.3, or maybe 1.8. I saw one home sold at the 1.8 level, but there you go. That kind of gives you your price range, but you can get a really good size, a decent home here, and you don't have to spend $2 million to get that. And if you're really not excited about the thought of living in the city, I always say don't think you have to move to the suburbs to get kind of that suburban feel. You can come right over to Oak Grove, and I mean, it's so quiet over here. I mean, you hear a little bit of an airplane every once in a while, but it is a very quiet neighborhood. A lot of families live here. The school system is ranked pretty well, and it's not a lot to do in this neighborhood. You can take a nice leisurely walk, but there's really not like a coffee shop around the corner. Instead, you'll have to drive just a little bit, but not very far away. They do have a cute little corner off of La Vista Road and Oak Grove Road, which has some little restaurants, so that's kind of your little neighborhood hangout area. But very nice area. If you're looking for some space, want a big house, you can certainly get some 5,000 square foot homes, and I've seen a couple that were in the 7,000 square foot range. So you can certainly find a little bit of everything in the Oak Grove area. Okay, I'm gonna head home, hop on my computer, show you some other areas that I would suggest looking into that are close to the hospital. All right, so I'm popping on the map here. Now, believe me, I wish I could walk every neighborhood by foot, but that's just going to be impossible to do in today's video, and that would take way too long, and I don't think you want to stick around for that long of a video. So we will conquer the rest of these neighborhoods just kind of by talking about them on the map and where they're located. So I'm going to go in kind of circle order here of some different neighborhoods that are nearby the hospital. So the hospital is right here in this purple, so that will kind of be our reference point. I was just over here in the Oak Grove area, and another neighborhood I would like to mention would be this area right in here. This is called Sagamore Hills. Now that would be another area to seek out. Also right in here is called Leafmore Creek, and I think these are nice areas. They've got some great ranch style homes. That's primarily what you're going to find in these two neighborhoods. Price ranges are going to be a little bit lower. So if you're looking more in a budget of the high sixes to the 800K range, maybe 900K, these might be areas that you want to look into. You can find some great sprawling ranches on a good sized lot. And I would say drawbacks of it, there's not a lot to do in these neighborhoods, but they are very close by to some casual restaurants, especially like right here. This is called Toco Hills. This is a popular shopping center. It has some great restaurants. They've been adding new stores in there. So this has definitely improved a lot in the last couple of years. So if you're going to do your Publix or your Kroger shopping, you're most likely going to come here. So that's very nearby. Now moving right along, another neighborhood, if your budget's a little bit on the lower side, would be to look into this Medlock Park area. It's also an area in here called Claremont Heights. Again, smaller homes on good sized lots again, but they're going to be 1,400, 1,500 square feet. Some might be a little bit bigger. Some will be renovated. Some may not be quite as renovated. So it just kind of depends. But price ranges, you can sometimes find something in the 500K price point up to, I'd say on average, 750, and you can get a pretty decent home there. So that is another area to seek out. And then it is right across the street from a shopping area right here. I don't know why this pin is doing this weird kind of lasso thing, but there's a shopping center right here. There's like a Walmart, there's a Chick-fil-A, some casual places to eat. There's also a Whole Foods down the road. So there's a good mix of, some commercial stuff nearby as well. And I would say all of this is probably 10 minutes at the most to where the hospital is at. Okay, moving right along, well, let's go down to City of Decatur. Now, this is a very popular area. I'd say for City of Decatur, it is going to be about a 15 to 20 minute drive to the new hospital. It's very easy to get to the new hospital. This is City of Decatur right here. You can just take Claremont all the way up and then cut over onto Briarcliff, and boom, you're right there. So pretty simple, easy drive. Now, what people love about City of Decatur is, one, it has really good schools. It's known for its school system, but the disadvantage is that you pay for that. So sometimes the amount of money you spend on a home here doesn't get you a lot because people want to be in the neighborhood, and the property taxes are fairly high. They're higher than, in Fulton County or the city of Atlanta or unincorporated DeKalb County. So just keep in mind that you will spend a little bit more in City of Decatur taxes. But I would say price ranges anywhere from $600,000 up to just about $1.9 million. I haven't seen a lot go over the $2 million mark. And you can get some really nice homes. You're going to find older homes in this neighborhood, some newer craftsmen as well. So it's just a good mix. And the great thing about the City of Decatur is it kind of gives you that small town feel. So if you're looking for kind of a small town feel, you have that right here, and you're not too far from the center of the city. If you want to go catch a show at the Fox Theater in Midtown, you're probably about a 20-minute drive over into the Midtown area. So not bad at all. The City of Decatur has a lot of festivals throughout the year. You're just going to find a lot of families that live here. So if you're looking for that family-friendly feel, the City of Decatur might be for you. Oakhurst is a popular City of Decatur neighborhood. It has its own little village of restaurants and coffee shops, that kind of thing. It can get competitive finding a home in here because everyone wants to live there. So just keep that in mind as well. Moving right along would be Druid Hills. Now, Druid Hills is a popular neighborhood to live in, especially if you work over at Emory, which is right here. So the old children's hospital was right in this area. So of course, this was going to have a very short commute time to work. But even still, if you live in Druid Hills, you can just pop up on Briarcliff, get over to the hospital, or you could always do Claremont as well. Just kind of depends on what floats your boat that day. But Emory or Druid Hills is a very popular area. It just kind of has a really nice established neighborhood. There's a lot of old homes in this neighborhood, and sometimes what you pay to get one of these homes, you know, there's still a lot of fixing up you could do on the inside. Just remember, these are old homes. They can be a little quirky of a layout, but it is a very established area, very nice. It's a historic district, so renovating homes here can be a little bit tricky because they are very picky about you changing anything on the exterior, so keep that in mind. But there's some super prime streets right along here next to a golf course, which is the Druid Hills Country Club golf course. It's a private country club you can join. They have a social memberships and also golf memberships. But then there's some prime streets right here. You've got Lowwater, there's Springdale, Oxford Road. These have huge mansions on them with big, 1 acre, 1.5 acre lots. They can get pricey anywhere from, $1.5, $2 million up to $4 million. But if you don't really need quite that much space, you can get kind of more of a normal size home anywhere kind of up and through here. But really nice area, very well established, and it's a pretty quiet neighborhood as well. Okay, next would be Virginia Highland, which is right in here, and then we've got Morningside. I'm just going to talk about both of these together. These are very popular neighborhoods. You pay to be in this location because if you're wanting something where it's a little bit more active and walkable, Virginia Highland would be one you would definitely want to look into. Again, I don't know why my marker is doing that, but this is an extremely sought out neighborhood because it is right next to Piedmont Park, which is right here. There's also the Beltline that runs through here. So if you like to take walks and jogs or ride your bike, the Beltline is the place to be. If you don't know what the Beltline is, or go check out my YouTube channel, I've got a vlog tour about the Beltline. Of course, Piedmont Park is just a nice, pretty park to hang out in. Morningside has probably a little less walkability. They do have a little village in here as well, but some beautiful homes. Now it gets pricey, so I'd say, minimum starts at $900K, and you don't get a lot for $900K in these neighborhoods. It's going to be a small 3-2 here in these areas. If you want something brand new in these areas, a new construction, craftsman, 5-bedroom, 4.5-bath, 2-car garage, those are starting to get up there in price around the $2.5 to $2.7 million. It's getting a little crazy, but that's where we're at right now with new builds. And but you can get a pretty decent 4-bedroom, 3-bath with 3,500 square feet and probably pay around that $1.7 to $2 million mark. That's just the nature of where these neighborhoods are. They're extremely popular and they're zoned to desirable school districts. So you can imagine there's a lot of families that live in these areas, but it's a fun spot to be in, especially if you're wanting to have more of that city feel, but still have kind of a neighborhood aspect to it as well. You might want to look into those neighborhoods. Now, one thing I'll caution you on is that the drive time from these areas, it can be a not so great coming back from work. I will say these roads get really clogged, just everyone coming home from work. So getting up there, I don't think is going to be a big problem, but coming back, if you're wanting to live in these areas, that's where you might run into some issues. You're going to be driving down Briarcliff Road most likely, and then maybe coming down Johnson Drive. But this whole area right here in Briarcliff, it's a 1-lane road. So it gets really backed up and it's really annoying. So just giving you that heads up. And this intersection right here, Briarcliff and La Vista, this is one of those intersections where it's just like the light is not long enough, and so it only gets so many cars through at a time. So traveling through here might get a little painful. I'm just giving you that heads up. I'd say getting from here to work is probably 15 minutes, but coming back, you could be looking more like 25 to 30 minutes, unfortunately. Okay, now I want to talk about Pine Hills. I love this area. This is kind of a southern Buckhead neighborhood. It's very woodsy in here, a lot of rolling hills.
I think a lot of people don't really know about it unless you have driven through here. But what I like about it, it does have close proximity to the heart of Buckhead. So if you like to shop a lot or go out for restaurants, all of that stuff is right in here. Pine Hills is right here, and you are like 5 minutes away. It's super easy. Also 5 minutes away, boom, your job. So you don't even have to get on highways. You just get on one road right through here, and you're right at your work. So this is a great area. I would say you can find a mixture again of ranch style homes and big traditional or custom homes. Here price ranges I would say run around $720,000 up to like $2.2 million. There's a couple that large custom homes I saw hit almost the $3 million mark, but some beautiful homes in here. So I would definitely check that one out. They have their own little private swim club there, and again, very close to the highway and Buckhead, so not a bad place to land. Also in Buckhead, I would also recommend, if you kind of like the idea of living in Buckhead, looking into Garden Hills or Peachtree Hills. These are probably a 15-minute drive over to the hospital. You could get there a couple different ways, kind of weaving in through some side streets. You don't have to get on the highway if you don't want to. These are just lovely areas. Garden Hills feels a lot like Virginia Highland or a Morningside. You got a lot of the older brick style homes. They're mixed in with some newer construction as well. And I would say, you know, price ranges, you're going to look at $800,000 up to maybe $1.8 to $2 million, just depending on where it is. Peachtree Hills generally is a little bit cheaper than the Garden Hills area, but Garden Hills, you can literally walk over to the Buckhead Village and grab something to eat. This is a popular shopping area. It's more high-end shopping. There's some nice restaurants in there, so you're not far from that. There's some nice parks in the Garden Hills area, and they have their own public swimming pool. I love taking my kids there, and it's just a nice little park and pool. So again, close to shopping and the hospital, so I think these are definitely some areas to check out. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about Brook Haven again. I already talked about, you know, Ashford Park, Brook Haven Fields, that's right down here. But I also think you could look into the North Brook Haven. It's not too much further. I would say you're looking at about 16 to 20 minutes depending where you are at. And a couple areas that I really like, it's actually in the city of Chamblee, but it is called Sexton Woods, right in here, in Keswick Village. So Keswick Village is kind of like right here, and this is Sexton Woods. There's some really nice new construction homes that sell in the 1.6, 1.8 range. It feels a lot like the Ashford Park, Drew Valley area as well. There's a nice park over here, and there's like a little walking trail that you can connect to, and you can actually connect on here. And then there's a little shopping center with like a Whole Foods and a couple of restaurants here, and then you could walk even a little further, and there's some cute little restaurants here off of Peachtree Road in the Chamblee area. So these are just nice neighborhoods. You don't really feel like you're in a big city. They just feel like a nice, sweet neighborhood, and it's also close to the perimeter. So if you've got like a spouse that's working, you know, in the perimeter, there's a lot of corporations that have their offices here in the Sandy Springs area or in the Dunwoody area. So if you've got a spouse working there, this could be a nice middle of the ground location for you. There's also a lot of shopping up in the Dunwoody area. There's a mall. There's kind of like your big box stores. They're all kind of right here. So it makes it for an easy, convenient shopping experience. Okay, so I've talked about a lot of neighborhoods that are in the city, and honestly, you can look at more options. You know, you're just going to have to know the further you go out, the more traffic you're going to deal with. One thing I would not suggest doing is looking over here where you're having to get on 75 and then switch over to I-85. I really don't like this area where you have to switch from highway to highway. It can get really jammed during those peak hours. So I highly recommend, if you don't want a long commute, don't be looking in areas over in here, or you're just going to have a long commute. I mean, if you're okay with that, then that is okay, but the traffic really does build up. Now, I've had some people ask about some suburbs. If you just are anti-city and you want to live in a suburb, then the best options, Tucker would be probably your closest one. Tucker, you're talking about 16 minutes. And you can hop on 285 and then get on I-85 down there. I will say 285 does get really busy, and so does I-85 during those peak hours, but you could also kind of cut through some side streets and get over into the hospital area. Tucker's going to feel a little bit more country. They've got a lot of ranch style homes. They've got some newer construction in there as well. I would say you can find homes here in like the 400K range. The only thing I would say about Tucker is like it just kind of feels like a smaller country kind of city. They've got like a cute little downtown area on Main Street with some fun little mom and pop restaurants and that kind of thing. So they've got a few things going for it, but like I said, it's just kind of a basic suburb, nothing overly exciting, but it is very convenient to getting onto the highway. Another area, if you were going to look into a suburb, I would say would be Dunwoody. That's about a 20-minute commute on a good day. Now just remember, if there's traffic, then that's going to build up a lot worse. So to get from Dunwoody down to the hospital, you have a couple different options. You can hop on 400 and then connect on the I-85 and get over that way. But I will caution you again, Highway 400 gets super, super congested. And when you are going south on 400 in the morning, it's pretty bad. And going north on it, it can also be really bad. It's especially bad where you're getting into this interchange here. So I'm just going to caution you on that. If you don't want to be sitting in the car for a long time, don't take Highway 400. Your other option is going around on 285 and then connecting again on I-85 that way. Again, 285 is a very busy highway. I really don't like driving on 285. You get a lot of semis that are bypassing the city, so they're on 285. I just don't like it. So if you don't like highway driving, I really suggest not living in Dunwoody. But if you're okay with a little bit of traffic, you could seek out Dunwoody. It's a nice, pleasant area. I've got a whole vlog tour on the Dunwoody area. Some nice neighborhoods in here. So I would say homes in the Dunwoody area are on average, for something decent, I think you're going to pay, $700K. So, and they could go up from there, but a lot of family-friendly neighborhoods in here. I've got some friends that live in there, and Dunwoody has been stepping up their game. They've been adding a lot of new commercial spots and restaurants and that kind of thing. So it's definitely a happening place. I hope this video has been helpful for you on figuring out some neighborhoods that are close to the Children's Hospital. Now, if you're making a move to Atlanta, whether that's tomorrow or next year, and you need help with figuring out where to live near the Children's Hospital, the best thing to do is reach out to me, shoot me a text, give me a call, send me an email. All my contact information is down below in the comments section. Let's schedule a time to have a conversation. We can figure out what you like, what you don't like, and place you in a neighborhood that fits your lifestyle and your budget. Now, there's a lot of different options. I didn't necessarily cover them all in this video, but this was just more of like kind of an overview for you. But reach out to me, like I said, let's have that conversation and I will help you out. So if you happen to see me out in the streets, if you're wandering around in the Atlanta area, make sure you say hello. I love running into you guys. And until next time, I'll see you around the neighborhood.